All right, today we're jumping into maybe the biggest, most personal question there is. What is consciousness? I mean, think about it. It's the one thing you're experiencing right now, the one thing you can't escape. And yet, it's the one thing we just can't seem to pin down. So let's just start with that. Right here, right now. What is it like to be you? I mean, that feeling of being aware, of seeing the world around you, of hearing my voice. It's like this constant movie playing inside your head that is your life. And that's the mystery we're diving into.
Yeah, this isn't just some small puzzle. It's arguably the greatest unsolved mystery in all of science. So to really get our heads around this thing, we're going to explore the big ideas, the heated debates, and what science is actually telling us.
So here's the game plan. First, we'll tackle that basic feeling of being. Then we'll look inside the brain for some clues. After that, we'll line up the main competing theories. And finally, we'll get a little wild and ask, could consciousness be everywhere?
Okay, let's get into it. Part 1, the feeling of being. This is all about nailing down the central mystery we're trying to crack. So what are we really talking about here? Consciousness is your subjective inner world. It's that private landscape of awareness that only you have access to. Philosophers have a fancy term for it, phenomenal consciousness. But all it really means is the what it's like feeling, what it's like to taste coffee, or see the color blue, or feel a moment of pure joy. And for a long time, this was kind of fuzzy. But then, in 1995, this philosopher, David Chalmers, came along and just framed the whole problem perfectly. He basically drew a line in the sand that changed how everyone thought about it. Here's what he did. He split the puzzle into 2 parts. On one side, you have the easy problems. Now, they're not easy, but they're solvable. Things like, how does the brain process what you see? How do you focus your attention? It's about mechanics. But then there's the hard problem, and this is the big one. Why does all that physical stuff, all those neurons firing, feel like anything at all? Why isn't it all just happening in the dark like a computer processing code? That question, that's the massive gap we still just can't cross.
So how do you even begin to tackle a problem that big?
Well, you start looking for clues.
And the most obvious place to look is right inside the brain.
Neuroscientists are basically on a hunt for something they call the neural correlates of consciousness, or NCCs for short. The whole idea is to pinpoint the exact minimal brain activity that lines up with a specific feeling. Like, what precisely has to happen in your brain for you to have the conscious experience of seeing the color red? If we can find that, maybe we can find a foothold. And what they're finding is pretty fascinating. It turns out there's no single consciousness spot in the brain. It's not like a little light bulb that turns on. Instead, it seems to emerge from a whole network of different systems working together. You've got the thalamus, which acts like a central relay station. There's the posterior cortex, kind of a hot zone in the back where a lot of our specific experiences seem to get processed. And then you have these huge, widespread frontoparietal networks that seem to be responsible for tying it all together.
Okay, so we've got the mystery, and we've got some physical clues from inside the brain. That brings us to the next logical step, the theories. Let's look at the main suspects in this cosmic detective story.
First up, we have global workspace theory, or GWT. And this one has a really cool metaphor to help you get it. Think of your brain as a theater. Most of the work, 99% of it, is happening backstage, in the dark, totally unconscious. But every now and then, a piece of information gets its moment in the spotlight. It's pushed out onto the main stage, which they call the global workspace. When that happens, it's broadcasted out to the entire audience of unconscious brain processes. And according to GWT, that act of broadcasting is consciousness. Yeah, its founder Bernard Bars basically put it like this. Consciousness is a global broadcasting system. Whatever's on that stage, that's what you're conscious of. It's all about information becoming famous, in a way. It's about access and making one signal loud enough for the whole brain to hear. Okay, our second main suspect comes at this from a completely different angle. It's called Integrated Information Theory, or IIT. IIT says consciousness isn't about what the brain does, like broadcasting. It argues consciousness is a fundamental property of matter, like mass or charge. Specifically, it is integrated information. They even have a mathematical value for it called phi. The more integrated a system is, meaning the whole is truly more than the sum of its parts, the higher its phi, and the more conscious it is. So you've got these two powerhouse theories that say completely different things. How on earth do you test them? Well, a group of scientists launched this absolutely massive 7-year project called the cogitate collaboration. And this was cool. It was set up as an adversarial experiment. They got the champions of both theories in a room to design a series of tests that would pit their ideas head-to-head. Everyone was on the edge of their seats waiting for the results. And when they finally came out in 2025, it was a total shock. Neither theory came out the winner. In fact, the data didn't fully confirm the predictions of either of them. Key ideas from both camps were seriously challenged. It was a huge twist that basically proved the mystery is even deeper and weirder than we imagined. The case is still very much wide open. Okay, so if the leading theories are struggling to explain consciousness even in humans, it kind of forces us to zoom out. And that brings us to our final section. Consciousness everywhere? We need to widen the search. I mean, think about it. If consciousness isn't some special, magical thing that only happens in human brains, then where else could it be? Are we really the only creatures on this planet with a rich inner life?
Just take the octopus. Seriously, our evolutionary family tree split from theirs over 500 million years ago. We went one way, they went another. And yet, look at them now. They have this incredibly alien nervous system with a brain in each arm, and they show mind-blowing intelligence. They solve puzzles, they use tools, they even seem to play. It's this incredible hint that complex intelligence, and maybe, just maybe, consciousness itself could have evolved completely separately at least twice on this planet. And if intelligence can evolve in such alien ways, well, that leads us right to the biggest question of the 21st century. Could a machine be conscious?
And on this, our big theories are completely at odds. You have the functionalist view, which is kind of similar to GWT. It basically says if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So if an AI acts conscious in every conceivable way, then yeah, for all intents and purposes, it is conscious. But then you have IIT's perspective, which is, well, brutal. It says that the way current AIs are built gives them a phi value of basically 0. They aren't integrated systems, so no matter how convincingly they talk, there's nothing it's like to be them. They're just incredibly sophisticated puppets, philosophical zombies.
And look, this is not just some late-night dorm room debate. The answer to this question has massive real-world consequences. We're talking about ethics, how we treat animals, how we care for patients in comas. It even touches on our very definition of what a life is and what's worth protecting.
So, after all of that, after looking at the brain, the theories, the animals, the AI, we find ourselves right back where we started. We're still staring at that same giant wall David Chalmers pointed out. We're still facing the hard problem. How does a bunch of physical stuff in our heads create the rich, subjective world we all live in? And that leaves us with this final kind of mind-bending question. Is this feeling you're having right now, this awareness, is it just a lucky biological accident? A rare fluke that happened on this one little planet? Or is it something way bigger? A fundamental feature of reality itself, woven into the fabric of the cosmos, just waiting for the right conditions to light up? We don't have the answer, but the search is everything.